back to Countryside Workshop. If you didn't know, Drew Short of Rockin' H Woodshop and I have a podcast, Woodshop 101. In this episode, I'm going to show you how we record and edit the podcast. So if you're interested, stick around. To get started, you're going to need a few basic pieces of software. We record via Skype with this call recorder for Skype. This is the one program that you're going to have to download and pay for. And we'll use one other program that we'll talk about in a little bit that you can download for free. But once you download Call Recorder for Skype, you will open up Skype and run it, and Call Recorder right here will automatically come up. You want to go ahead and get it set up before your first recording, so click on Skype and go to Preferences. And then over here will be the recording tab. Some of the things you want to make sure, get these kind of how set up how you want them. Really look at the recording video option and make sure that you get the correct video that you want as far as the picture and how that looks. And then down here, the save recordings to. You want to make sure that you know where your recordings are going to be saved on your computer or other hard drive. Once those are done, you simply open up Skype, you start your phone call, and when you're ready to record, you would hit the red record button right here. At the end of your Skype call or when you want to stop recording, you would hit the stop button, which would be the red record button. And then it will automatically save it. So we'll jump into where mine get saved. And so here's my folder where they all get saved, and we are working on episode 71. So go right here. Now I'm going to edit this in GarageBand, and I need to convert it and split the tracks. So if you go here, we're going to go to split movie tracks, and all this software is downloaded with your call recorder. I'm going to drag this over, split my movie tracks, and it's going to split it into my phone call and then the other people on the other line. So we'll essentially split it into two audio tracks and then a video track with no audio connected to it. Alright, now I go ahead and rename my files as I'm working on, just so I know which ones are what. Now, in order to edit in GarageBand, they need to be in MP3s. So again, I'm going back over here, convert to MP3. And this is going to piggyback with iTunes to convert into MP3 format. So you will need iTunes on your computer as well. Alright, now that both of those files are done, I'm going to start my first edit in GarageBand. So I'll open up GarageBand and I will start a new project, a new audio project. I like to follow mine in time. I hide the library, and then I just drag and drop my files in here. Once my files are in, I'll go ahead and delete the audio 1 track that's automatically populated into it. And now's the time that I go ahead and I start worrying about the levels and the compression. So I play it, and I'm just listening to a few clips of it to kind of find out how it's playing and how it listens. So about the first 30 seconds, and then I go to the very end and kind of listen how our outro is done. And so that sounds good to me. The other program I'm going to use, so we'll just go here and we'll go to save as, and I'm going to save this as episode 70 edit 1. And as you see, I have a separate hard drive that I keep all of my episodes in. I'm going to keep it in GarageBand here. We're going to save that. And now that's my working file. Now to worry about the levels, I'm going to go up here to share and go export song to disk. And we're going to save that as a AIFF file, uncompressed at 24-bit. Alright, now that I have that working file all saved and I have the AIFF file all saved, I'm going to mess with the levels. So the next program I use is called Levelator. And you can only use a WAV or an AIFF file. And it is a straight drag and drop. So I'm going to take that .aif file that I saved, I'm going to drag it over, and I'm going to drop it on the program. And it's going to adjust the levels of every track so they're about the same. Alright, now that we have our levels all taken care of, we're going to go back into GarageBand and start adding the intro and the outro and making any other adjustments to the track that we need to. So I go back to my last editing episode, which was episode 70 in my case. I'm going to open up that master track. And then I'm going to go ahead and delete out the sections that I'm not going to need. And I'm going to save it right off the bat as the current episode. So this would be episode 71, master track. Make sure I'm going to save it in the right spot. Now just take my one track that has all the current levels in it, and I will drag and drop into GarageBand.
Excuse me, GarageBand needs...
Alright, here we go. We have it in here. I'm going to drag it up where I have it in the place that I want it. And you can see I have each individual track laid out here how I have it. So Sophomore Makeout, that's my intro music. We're going to slide that all the way over. Then we have our podcast intro. I'm going to slide that over to where that aligns here. And then we're going to slide our current episode track over to where it aligns. And then we have our outro music. We're going to zoom out here. We're going to find our outro music. We're going to slide it over somewhere relatively in place, in position. And then I like my outro music to get louder right after we do our signature sign off boom. So let's place that in the right place.
Boom!
back and we'll listen to the very beginning, make sure that all sounds good.
Welcome to Woodshop 101, where everything is made up and the points don't matter. Now meet the yin and yang of woodworking and the lady that keeps them in line, Jeremy, Drew, and Sam.
Welcome to episode 71. So now we're going to highlight 5 videos each that we found inspiring. We're joined tonight by our guest host, Zach. How do you say your last name, Zach?
Zach Manring.
Manring?
Manring, man with a ring.
Okay, Manring. All right, so our intro and about the first 30 seconds sound pretty good. The outro sounds good. Now I have this sensor beep down here. I don't always need it, and it won't always be in my master track. However, for this purpose, I do need it, and I keep notes as we record so I don't have to go back and listen to those spots where I need to edit. So during this recording, it was at 48 minutes and 12 seconds was a cuss word, so I need to go put the beep. So 48:12, I need to go ahead and add about the first 20 seconds of the intro. So that's going to put me somewhere about 48 minutes and about 30 seconds. Let's see if we can find it.
Pretty cool too how you handle it. I would like to ask him how heavy it is because it does look pretty damn heavy. Yeah, so it's pretty cool too how you handle it. I would like to ask him how heavy it is because it does look pretty damn heavy.
All right, so right here is where the cuss words dropped. So I'm going to zoom in on that frame.
Because it does look pretty damn heavy.
And I'll isolate.
Pretty damn heavy. Yeah. Pretty damn heavy.
And I'll drop that out and let me see if you can hear it now.
How heavy it is because it does. Yeah, so.
All right, so it's very key to get it right on that word and not any more or any less. That way it doesn't take away from the conversation and you're not missing extra words. So now that I got that spot isolated, let me go see where I have this track saved at. So I got it right here. We're going to drag it over. And there's where I'm going to need it. And the sensor I have a 3 different ones, a 1 second, a 2 second, and a 3 second. And we'll just see how it plays out. This is the 2 second one.
Heavy it is because it does. Heavy, yeah, so.
That one looks like it's going to play out pretty well. The reason why I do all of this editing after I set the levels is because if how I drop the level out right here, if I were to do that before I ran the levelator would automatically bring this level back up. And then I would have wasted that work because I would have to go back in and drop it. So I just make sure that both tracks are sounding good, and then I run the levelator, then I bring it back in to make all these post-editing corrections. And I try not to do a whole lot. If there's a lot of ums and ahs, I leave them. It's part of the conversation. It makes the hosts look like humans and mistakes happen. But because we want to keep it family friendly, we drop out pretty much any explicit word that's dropped in the podcast. So now that I have all of that, that's all done, it's pretty easy. I'm going to make sure it saves, and then I'm going to share it. Export song to disk, and I'm going to export it as a MP3. It'll go into my iTunes folder and we'll export it. Once GarageBand finished exporting in MP3 format, I'll go and find it. So I go back here, and this is where it's saved on my computer. I will then take and drag and drop into iTunes. And then in iTunes, I will look for it. Episode 71. I'm going to start doing the metadata on it. So I'll start here and I'll put the name of it. Artwork. Lyrics won't let me input lyrics yet. Options. It's a music file right now. All that's populated. And it tells me where it's all at, how it's encoded. So we'll go back to options and we'll change it to podcast. Click OK. And it's going to write the metadata to the track. I'll now need to go up here and go to podcasts. And find it. So here we go. We're going to go back into the metadata. And we're going to put the description. Hit OK. So we're on SoundCloud. We'll just click upload. Choose a file to upload. Then I'll go locate where my iTunes folders are at. And then this is how the file will look inside of iTunes. And then I enable the downloads permission that will just allow people to download the track from SoundCloud to listen when they don't have internet service. And then from here, once everything's good, you can either set it to private, which means that it won't upload to SoundCloud and nobody else will be able to see it if they don't have a specific link. If you want it to be pushed to iTunes, you need to set it as public. Click save, and you'll see that it's going to start. It's going to be uploading and then processing. There's many different options for file hosting. We chose SoundCloud because, in my opinion, it's one of the best options. It's about $135 a year, but you can upload to SoundCloud. SoundCloud will then generate the RSS feed that will be pushed to iTunes, to Stitcher, to Google Play, or any of the other podcast apps that you want. Now that the file is all uploaded, iTunes will pull it anywhere between 1 hour and 24 hours. The more that your RSS feed pushes to iTunes, the quicker that they will pull from, or they will upload your podcast to the iTunes store. So being that ours has been pretty frequent for the last 3 years, it's going to be pushed within an hour tops. Now, if you choose to go with SoundCloud as your file hosting website or your file hosting service, SoundCloud has a tutorial for you to set up your RSS feed and get it pushed to iTunes. All right. In order to be a podcast on iTunes, you have to submit a request through the iTunes store and give them your RSS feed, and then they will either approve you or deny you within 24 to 48 hours.